is going on, you guys? It's Vergil, and in this one we have some potential breaking news here with ground battles finally being data mined. We got Spoon making a couple of posts here on X saying that he's found some information on ground battles, which is fantastic because this is something different that we were actually hoping to see here implemented during this 7th year anniversary. If you guys obviously remember, we have the massive overhaul updates where they increased the RAM requirements from 1.6 to 4 RAM, which is a massive change. So the quality of life, the actual quality of the animations, the mechanics, things that they can do with the game are just that much greater. We've had the same battle system for 7 years now. Pretty much you're fighting in the air. It's the same sequence. This seems like a complete game changer here. So this is literally game breaking. By the way, if you guys want to go see a concept that I made previously, it was actually before the celebration started. I think it's going to tie in heavily with a similar concept here. So it's called domains. 7th anniversary will bring a domain mechanic. And when it didn't, right, the new anniversary characters didn't give us any new mechanics or a new way of playing the game. We're all like, what was the glaze for? You know what I mean? What was that big update for? Given the animations do look fantastic with these new guys, but new battle system PvP changes is coming pretty much here. He's found information on ground tutorial. So with that new mechanic that I was referring to called domains, it's kind of a sequence where the ability or mechanic is given to certain characters that will be able to take you to a different arena. I don't see this being a complete game mode change. In general, I think it will be locked behind certain characters getting access to the mechanic, whether it's called domain or not. As you guys can see here, took a second to look at the game data and found that these might actually be ground battles. Area change, air, ground. So being able to be shot from the air to the ground. So whether that's, you know, it could be in any different environment for any different character, depending on what character it was. Say if it was for like Broly, set into his theme or ground specific for that character, could be the shatter dimension. It could be locked behind a, you know, a floor style where you have to actually walk around. Details like that. If it's like Goku, Black, or Zamasu shot to the floor, it could be the destroyed city location. If you're like Broly, you could be shot to like a rocky location where you have the terrain, you have like details around you, whether it's rocks, it's buildings, it's other things that you could kind of interact with. Auto overcharge, overcharge max, overdrive combo details, kind of combinations, attacks that you can do on the floor, auto backstep, dynamic arena, arts area ability. We have a couple of more here. There's also ground excel, dash fire effect, ground front vanish, ground walk effect, and ground area change. So a lot of details here that we don't actually know any of the meanings behind. However, we could continue to speculate it here. I will say this again, I did release this video and it goes over just the full concept in depth if you're not completely understanding it. I think this will be not a completely different game mode or a kind of battle system change entirely. It will be locked as a specific mechanic that will change the rules we play by. So it will change you to a different arena where now you are playing in this character's domain. So it's not completely advantageous to you. While it could be advantageous to you, your opponent will be able to fight back with you in this new setting. So a new terrain, new rules, new abilities, all of these things here. Dash, fire effect, front vanish, walk effect area, auto backstep, overdrive combo, overcharge. These sound like whole attacks, like being able to kind of throw your opponents through rocks or, you know, I don't know, anything that could be taking place on the floor or like in a setting where you're, you know, you're surrounded by details instead of being up in the sky. So he actually got a little bit more info here. It's in the game, the details are in there, but it won't load in completely. This is what it looks like when he actually tries to load into the mode. So with data mines, you're able to see things in the game on how they would appear. The whole camera angle looks completely different given this is a landscape POV. I just think it's wider out. It looks like, I mean, you're the same kind of distance from your opponent, but I don't know if it would actually look this wide or farther away. I'm assuming on the floor, you'll be running towards your opponent. A lot of the swipes will actually have run animations here. Ground walk effect, ground front vanish. So a lot of the, you know, already existing mechanics in the way that the game plays will be sort of implemented into this floor battle. So vanish on the floor or something like this, just going to have different sets of different animations here. Overcharge combo, backstep. We don't know what any of these details mean. This is also what it looks like when he tries to load into this. It's obviously that there is a lot locked behind, you know, them not wanting to have everything implemented or be able to be data mined into the game yet. So it could be coming for a potential part 2 and 3. It's good to see it because we were honestly kind of concerned with the whole RAM increase. I said from 1 point something to 4 RAM. And the only thing with notable differences were just the animations were crisp. So we have a completely new thing to be excited for here, whether that's new animations, a new mode, something that will change the game forever with ground battles. And I'm honestly super excited by it. And I'm wonder what characters will have it first and whether this will tie in with other things like maybe giant units. If you guys follow me on X, basically, I could go to my profile here. You guys follow me on here. I'm thinking giant characters. Honestly, these are some of the guys that we do not have in the game. So Goma is actually a giant in Daima towards the very end. We have Selmax, who's a pretty popular character. We just got a new summon animation with Selmax in it. And I feel like that's kind of, you know, funny timing. They do like to buff movies towards these you know, part of the celebrations. These are 2 new characters that we do not have access to in the game. And funny enough, a lot of people are saying this is ass. You know, I was reading through this and people are not really feeling it, but they're new character options, new giant feature, and it could maybe even tie into this ground battles. These are just me theorizing at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think. Would you be hyped for something like this? Especially if this was tied into a domain factor, right? You're fighting Selmax, you're fighting Goma. You would be sent to some sort of superhero movie arena. If you're Goma, you would be sent to that one arena at the very end where they're floating in the sky. And it's like this big rock with all the spikes. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Cell Games arena, but in the sky in the Daima format. You know what I'm talking about. But basically being sent to the floor there to fight on that specific arena would be super sick. Sure, you guys, dude, I just thought about that right now. That would be hella cool. But me personally, I think I'd be excited for something insane like this. Part 2, they normally give us oddball characters anyways. Don't really want to see a repetitive formula for, you know, the fusions or like anything like that. You know, you guys are like, yo, but didn't you want Super Goat? He would have been cool. But not for part 2, man. It's easily a part 1 or part 3 seller. There's no way they waste the fusions for part 2. So these guys would be a really good change of pace. I know you're probably not feeling this just because Daima is so toxic, but Dub anime just finished. So I think they would just drop more Daima characters. And Giants is a good way to implement this new mechanic, whether they want to go with that or just stick with, you know, it could really be anything. It could be non-giant character related. I just think with this new scenery of ground fights, Giants, you know, are not just flying in the air. You kind of have like things to work with, a new battle system and all that. It could kind of tie into that, but let me know what you guys are thinking about that. Ton of things they could do with this domain or this specific mechanic. The game might actually just change forever. So see you guys in the very next one. Peace out. I'm about to catch my flight.